See if we're up on the YouTube, man. All right, it's in the afternoon. It is right at the 1301. We got the stream going. We're up about, let's see where we're at today. Up about 14,000. We're in an active trade, and we are up about 1,800 on that active trade as I speak. Let's see where we're at. Let's see if we can modify that a little bit before I kind of share out the stream and get distracted. Let's give it a little bit more room. Been calling this all morning, so you really have no excuse if you do follow me to actually have. If you say, hey, man, you don't share things in advance. I do share things in advance, so we're up. So we're up there. Now we're up on the YouTube. Booyakasha. That's my latest saying, and I just can't get it out of my head. So, you're just going to have to live with it, man. All right, we're there. Shared the stream. Getting this stuff down now. So if you stay to the end, we'll go over and I'll talk about magnets and how to really look at the market. And it'll change drastically. It will change. Number one, I'm not being arrogant, okay? I just believe that I've created one of the best trade systems on the planet. And I'm going to mention this a few times. I'm going to ghost. And the only people that are going to be rolling with my nephew and myself are members, alphas. I am going to ghost at some time. We are going to ghost at some, because we're going to hit a point where it makes sense no longer to actually do this for the public. And I'm not saying that, I'm warning everybody ahead of time. Like, if you want the opportunity to trade the best trade system on the planet, it's slowly running out. It could be a year, it could be 2 days. Alphas, you're going with us. I mean, you'll have the opportunity to go with us. I'm just being completely upfront. So we're in a trade up about $1,400. We see that the gold is moving up. The gold trade that exists is right here. Selling right here at the RDA. Should be a really obvious trade right there. Just be patient. So on deck, we'll see if we can improve our PnL. Where are we at today so far? We're up about 14,834. We're up in a trade right now, actively right around 1,400. Is the stream good? Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can all the peeps hear me? Like it, share it, get it out there. We're going to make one push. I'm just going to start telling everybody what we're going to do. And, well, okay. Like, I'm going to do. We're going to do. And then I will explain what we're doing. And then it will happen.
Stop field.
Got stopped out. Meaning that, I'm of the belief that you don't talk, you do. You don't threaten, you do. So I'm just giving people enough time to potentially take advantage of the opportunity. That's all. And I'm really just trying to be humble about it and not, but, I'll end with this and then we'll focus on the trading. I don't share everything I do with trading and the system, because what needs to happen is that you need to become profitable with the system and make it your own. And if I start sharing everything I do with trading, it will confuse the living heck out of everybody. So I'm intentionally focused on ensuring that the people that are members and alphas are getting the system and learning it and focusing on not getting distracted. Because I know traders have this funny ability to have this magic or the shiny object syndrome. The second an indicator doesn't work one day, some traders are like, oh, I'm going to go find another indicator. Like, you know, I don't think anybody appreciates the amount of focus and dedication and get up every single day that it took me to build this system. Meaning that I didn't waver. I said I needed a bias indicator. I'll just give you an example. So where are we at? Let me make sure we're checking the charts. Let's check the charts before I go off on a tangent. We're in a trade. We're in NQ. I called it already. We're looking for long for the rest of the day. What are we looking for on the NQ? Look at this here. Bam, 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 bam. That's just scaling into a friggin', I started a little bit too early. That was just scaling into, made about $7,000 on that trade, $6,000 on that trade. And I didn't want to stick with it. I should have re-entered here, but I was taking care of a few things. So there, at least here on this chart, you can see all my executions. So at least you can say, hey, you know, did this dude really trade this or not? I guess if you want to go down that path, I show it every single day, so I don't know what more I need to do. So let's look around the charts. All right. So we're going to start with, let's see what the 5 tells us. Okay, well, we're in a trade already there. Crude oil. We don't really have an opportunity in crude oil yet. It's messing around with the daily open. I'd say the best trade that exists probably is right around here. So if we do a trade here, I'm going to put a buy here. We get picked up. That means the chart will tell us that, hey man, you need to pay attention. We got our gold trade. We could probably trade up to that level. I just don't like the way that it's just slowly grinding. It's just worth it. To me, the best trade on the table is to wait for the short because it might sell off. But it did hold the weekly open, so technically we probably should look to maybe... where are we at? I hate the way that, you have to like right click and then find it. It's so stupid. Why don't they just make another... I don't know. It's just annoying. All right. So there's our entry there. NatGas, Henry Hub NatGas, May 2023. We're not sure on that. I'm in a longer trade on that, so I'm not going to get involved in that. All right. Right now we're up about $1,300. The stream. All right, so what was I talking about? I was talking about something. I don't know, obviously. I don't know anymore. Obviously, if people like, there we go. The stream. Where's my other entry? Where's my other position there? There it is. We'll just put a fixed stop then. We got the RDA here, which is pretty obvious. It should be obvious that it's testing the RDA. I think that the trade on the table is a long for the afternoon, but you might want to wait around the pivot point. Pivot time. Wait for fake. Move, then directional. If you're new here, you want to join via Discord. Down below. If you want to trade the system that I trade, what I designed, you just join Discord, send me a DM, ask how to get started. Or visit the website. I go over it in full detail. I'll be updating the website here in the next... Like I said, we're going to make one push. And then we're going to ghost. And then we're going to roll with the reels. PnL wise, I need to update my PnL. I haven't got a chance. I was, kind of in treatment this week, so, maybe today we'll hit over 7K or 700K. I mean, is what I meant to say. Maybe today I might get over. That's publicly what I share too, by the way. That's not everything I do in trading. Just friggin'. So that's my, if you look, I share my PnL. Here it is. That's so far 2023. That's with the dude getting chemo every 2 weeks. Up about $1,400. Booyakasha. There's no other trade. Now the NQ is at the actual RDA on chart 4. So we're watching that, obviously. That is our watch. Where we at now? So we'll trade a little bit, and then I want to get off right around 3 or something. So I'll be sharing how to look at the market. If you want to learn how to look at the market, if you want to learn really how to look at the market, I'll be sharing with you how to look at the market. What does this say? If you can send me the system you are doing your trades and how it functions, would be nice to test it on some trades I made. No. No. I mean, okay. How about you just watch my streams and see that it works day in and day out. If you need any more than that, then, the minimum amount of cost of $9.97 for the amount of time and effort. What I might do before I ghost is I might just raise the price drastically and then not ghost for a while, but then eventually ghost. Got to talk with Tony and make sure that he's on board with how I want to go out. Not going to go out. I'm not going out. I'm going out with the reels, but with the riders, We're in ride or die mode. So I'm just giving people plenty of opportunity to get involved. Like, if you think there's something special here, great. If you don't, fine. I mean, I'm not being an ass there, dude, Brad, but I'm trying not to. I'm just being direct. So don't take it as I'm attacking you. And I'm not going to I don't believe in free. I'll send you a DM on how to join. I'll message you. This is me. So this is me. I'll message you after stream or have Tony do it live. By the way, there is someone, so I'm just going to, just an announcement, okay? Anybody new that joins the server, here's what happens. We've got a group that likes to scam people, and they have 3 or 4 members that basically watch the system, and then they have unconnected accounts that mirror my account, and then they contact you within 1 to 5 hours of you joining, sometimes later, sometimes sooner. And then they offer you a new crypto trading strategy or something. And then they send you to a website. And basically what they're just trying to do is just scam you out of money. So just be very mindful. I never DM anybody directly unless it's something really important. My account, I will share this here. You can always ask me. If you think you're not communicating with me, simply say, hey, dude, say hi in general. Say what's up to me in general. Because the dude is, yeah, pivot time is now. Yes. This is one pivot time. So you're right. Good call there, John. This is the pivot time. So generally, you're going to see a pivot time. Well, it's around the 15 minutes around this time. The pivot's kind of already happened. So generally, I look for a pivot around this time. There's another pivot that will happen in about 45 minutes, typically. All right, so, the system that you're seeing me trade and what I trade is really a predictive system. Okay. Like, and let's say you don't want to become a member. You don't want to trade my system for whatever reason. Okay. If you just listen to me, okay, just listen to me in this, because it took me about 6 months. And my 6 months, and I'm not being arrogant, I'm somewhere on the spectrum, okay? I think I am. Because my 6 months is basically 12 to 18 hours a day thinking about a particular topic, okay? That's my 6 months. I know I'm odd, all right? So my 6 months is like a year or two for the average person or whatever. What I learned, and I spent over 50, 60 grand, I think I finally calculated, buying various trainings. There was only 2 that were really worth it. And even then, they weren't predictive. So if there's one thing you hear from me, your trade system needs to be predictive. It needs to tell you on a chart where to look well in advance. Well in advance. Meaning that you should know where your next 2 trades are. Actually, you should know where your next 4 trades are well in advance. And what I mean by that is high probability trades. You should know your next 4 high probability trades well in advance. If you design a trade system like that, then you're trading correctly. Because if you don't design a trade system like that, you're waiting for the market to tell you where to pay attention. And you know what? Every single day you get up, and it's a fight between you and the market. We're in a trade now. I don't see any other opportunity. You can see my positions where I'm trying to get in. So if you're watching the chart or you're watching, you can see where I'm trying to get in or where I'm in. So we're not missing anything on the trade. I already was calling ahead of time, if you were in Discord, that you should have been long, that I was long, and that probably was the trade that was on the table. So not that you should have been long, but that was the trade on the table. Yeah, so I did get Brett, someone in the DM said 7885 already added me. Yeah. So, that's what they're doing. I'm just telling you what's happening. They're watching the server incognito, kind of they're lurking on the server. They make notice of everybody that joins. And I guess I could turn off new joins. That's one way I could probably do that. But we're working on how we ensure that, like, someone joins, they know right away, basically the rules and everything else. Because I don't want, number one, I don't think anybody's been actually fall for it, because, the person gets, whoever's doing it, the group that's doing it, they try to get you as quick as possible. They don't foster the relationship. Now I'm giving them advice. Just don't fall for it. If you ever think that you're talking to someone other than me or Tony, ask us to talk in general. Look at the account, and if it seems suspect, it's probably suspect. So when I had all these systems and maybe 3 of them were predictive in nature, that's when I realized, you know what? It's me against the market every single day, and it's in a battle. And basically the market's going to try to trick me constantly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the clues that the market's given me. Basically, you're becoming a tracker. That's what you are. You're tracking one of the most difficult prey that exists on the planet, the market. I've never tracked a tiger. I've never tracked anything like that, so I don't know. But I mean, obviously that's life or death. But you're tracking one of the most difficult things to track on the planet. The good thing about it is that the market, let's say you were tracking a tiger, for instance. A tiger might be really adept at not leaving marks, not making grass fall over, might be really adept at actually maybe walking on a trail that another existing animal has, maybe really adept at tricking you. Here's the thing about the market. The market can't trick you. It can trick you if you allow it, but the market, it has to leave clues. Everywhere the market goes, it leaves clues. There is never a time when you're tracking the market and you lose its scent. It's like when you watch those movies and like someone jumps in the river and then the dogs lose the scent, right? That doesn't happen with the market. The market, even a gap isn't losing the scent. A gap is telling you something. So the market you never lose the actual scent of the market. Never. So what you just need to adopt or create is you need to create a system that tells you, if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever learned how to track a human. So if you've ever learned how to track a human, you know, there's very specific things that you would do to track a human. So for instance, one of the things you do is you want to understand the gait, and you want to understand how many, you know, how fast are they moving, their gait, are they encumbered, and you can look at tracks at a human, and you get really good at understanding what's their gait. Now, when you understand their gait and their movement speed, then you project out the circle and you say, okay, they look like they have water. This person, so for instance, if you're tracking someone and maybe they have sandals instead of boots, well, that tells you something. Hey, good morning. Or afternoon, I guess. If they have boots, then you know they maybe were a little bit more prepared than someone that has sandals. You know, and I'm relating this to the market, you know. With the 4 chart setup that members that you trade, each one of those charts has a philosophy and a reason for being there. And that's in the training. So in the training, the 4 chart setup tells you the philosophy of why each one of these charts exist. And they're there to track the market. They're there to give you clues about what the market's doing. That's why we have the 4 chart setup. That's why we trade a combination of tick and time charts. So that's really what it's doing. That's what you're doing. You're basically becoming a tracker. So looks like we're going to do a VWAP test here. It's pretty obvious. The question is, now this is what you're going to be projecting out. You would expect an overshoot of the VWAP, and then you would expect maybe a fake break down to the downside. But we're pretty, if we look at the NDX and we see where we're at, we're about to retest the day open. So it's pretty obvious the week opens held. So it should be obvious where the targets are. One or two things are going to happen. It's either going to probably close, I would say. This is what I mean by projecting. You know, I could see it closing right around here, messing around in a range, playing around. Or it's going to decide it wants to close and make a statement for the week. And it's going to recapture the day open as it's doing right now. And then it's going to close above the opening range high. And then it's probably going to close right up in here in this zone here, right around 343. If it wants to make a major statement. Wants to make a minor statement, it'll just close briefly above it right around 185. So that's kind of what we're watching for. Should be a little bit more size, obviously. But that was already in the trade. We're up about $3,000, so I can't really complain about that. Up about $3,000 there. I like it when it's like this. There we go. Oh, I had coffee. Yeah, I should have added. You know, this is, so I didn't add. Members, I'm going to share this in Trade Room Alpha. I mean, I'm going to share chart 2, and you're going to look at it and say, where should I have added? And then you're going to clearly see where I should have added. So Trade Room Alpha, like that's chart 2. Where should I have added? It's pretty clear, right? RDA check, momentum check. I got 2 opportunities to add, and I didn't add. So now we're at the VWAP test. Look for an overshoot. If I wanted to maximize some on my profit, I would take some off right now. But we've got a level up here. So where we're really targeting chart 4, that chart 4 level. Right around 170. 170 on the NQ. Other than that, NG is moving up. None of our entries. We're still waiting for GC to pick us up either on the short, and then we know to pay attention. Either short it more, or we're going to get picked up on a long. We maybe add to the long. Right now, we're just kind of in a no trade zone there. NG might be a trade. I'll have to look at NG. Let me look at that chart. No. Looks like it wants to run. I've been neglecting NG a little bit. The next trade on NG is really 2 spot 24. 2 spot 24. 2 spot 22 is the next trade on NG. Should be trading up to that probably, but that's the next trade on NG. So we're probably not going to get that today. So that trade probably is not going to unfold. Let me check the chats, make sure there's no questions in the chat. If you do have a question, I'll answer questions. And then we will be covering magnets here at the end of the trade session so that you can get some knowledge. I'm going to take one off.
Order filled.
There. It's just at a stall area. I probably could be patient, but I took one off on my NQ trade just to maximize the profit. I mean, it's at a stall area. It could just as easily sell off here, and then I would have wished that I at least took half off, even though it's only 2 lots. So again, I'm kind of trading a little bit low or at a smaller just because I'm still recovering. So I just don't want to get, I want to just emotionally get myself on the wrong side of a trade. Oh, thanks. Yeah, just block. Sorry, man. Tony's my nephew, by the way, in case people don't know. Nephew Elite. He had an appointment today. He held it down yesterday really well while I was relaxing. Or trying to recover. It's kind of interesting to see. I bet I can almost guarantee that if I check the mutual servers, yeah, you're in OpenAI. It's just interesting to see the amount of people that actually are in the OpenAI server and obviously here. So, one of the things that we'll be doing, I'm just going to share this in advance with everybody, is that I've been in AI for a couple years. So I've been watching AI for a couple years, and I have a development background. So for those that are wondering, how does AI play a role in trading? I've already been working on it for years, for like a year at least. So, I just don't share it because I just don't want people distracted on taking the system and profiting from the system, making it their own. Because if I share stuff I'm doing in AI and everything else, you're going to get a little shiny object and you're going to say, oh, then I need to focus on AI. Trust me, you don't need to focus on AI. We're about 2 years away from it actually being viable for something that you could actually implement. And that's someone that's non-technical, okay? We're not at the point where anything in AI trade-wise, you're going to have an opportunity in. Unless you are solely focused on AI. So what should you focus on? You should focus on having a trade system that you can profit every single day. That's what you should focus on. And then when the AI opportunity presents itself, you'll be able to modify your system to AI. That's the opportunity that exists for you in AI right now. And you could maybe be keeping in touch with the market, but there is nothing that you're going to be able to implement within the trading realm, I believe, within the next 12 months, that is not going to take a tremendous amount of effort and knowledge on the development side. So it's not there yet. There is a lot of interesting things happening. The question you might have, well, doesn't that mean that, my system might break or whatever? Nope. If anything, the system will be more efficient. And the reason for that, which is the test we've been doing, the problem is we're going to have one really bad day someday. Like the 87 crash, if anybody like the flash crashes, we're going to have one bad day and it's going to be so bad no one's going to be able to understand what happened. So I'm saying the market as a whole, right? We're going to have one bad day and it's going to be, and then after that bad day, then the regulations are going to hit pretty hard. But right now, it's kind of like the Wild West a little bit. It's kind of like when the latency wars started. If you were around for the latency wars, it's kind of like the AI is the new. I mean, AI is the new latency wars right now, and it's being allowed. But the second that we have a bad day where the markets halt continuously, and no one understands what's going on, is the second that it's going to change within like 2 days. So, like, you know, we're kind of in a, this is obviously, I mean, I don't need to say this is my opinion. We're in kind of uncharted territory with AI and in the investment space. Now, there's the weekly open up here. So that's where it's going. So that's the short area. Probably should have added to here. So we're up about 16 grand for the day. Open profit about 1,600. I don't see anything I want to go heavy on yet. What's up, buddy? Come on. Come on. Come down here. Fine. You want to be my... Rex does not want to be in my vicinity right now. He's got another favorite person that he can hang out with. What are you crying for then, man? Come on. Be my pal. Yeah, we're about to short, Rex. I think we're going to short the week open on an overshoot for a quick fade. It's just what we're fitting to do. My PnL should have been a little bit more if I would have been more in my mindset today. Should have had a little bit better PnL than what I have right now. More than 16 grand. I probably should be up to like 25 by now. Look at that move. Also, if you have any questions, just send them over. So I just send that just to get started if you want to get started. If not, if you have questions, I more than understand you might have some questions. So we're at another potential area pivot. We're 90 minutes into the market. Looks like the market wants to make a statement here. Booyaka shop. What's wrong, buddy? Oh, I need coffee. That's my problem. It's New Music Friday too. So I might be having music on here. But then, you know, we'll cut it a little bit short, or not short. I mean, I'll stop trading probably. And then I'll go over like a 10 to 15 minute like how to look at the market, which is the magnet lesson. What's up, little buddy? Man, you're not cool, man. Yeah, run away. Bounce back. Just had to get coffee. There we go. Can you hear me now? Sorry, I muted the mic. Oh, wow. You can get on audio. If you want to get on audio, man. I don't know if I can, if that will come through. We'll have to figure out how we do this shared streaming thing. Talking to you, Nephew Elite. So the after action report for Damon will be out today. And that's basically, actually I can just share that. No, I'll share the post. So I did the, I do the post? I did do the post. So I did a video, I did an audio where I read it. It's just my upfront feedback to Damon on the Rockwell trading session we had. So that's what that is. And, you know, please forgive any spelling errors or anything else like that, or any grammatical errors. I literally just, I don't have limited time, or I have limited, I don't have limited time. I have limited time. So I just focused on providing kind of the best insight I could for him. My honest and upfront feedback on basically the session and what to do to correct, or in my perspective, you know, and I'm upfront in there too, which is, look, each trader walks their own path. So this is what I saw, sitting on the wall, watching the trades. So I'll share this out publicly. You can, obviously, I was going to do it after the stream, and I will, but I'll share it after the stream. So All right, so it didn't quite hit the weekly open. So here's the trade that exists on the table. Members or anybody trading the system, I guess I should say. Here's how you execute this trade. Okay. We know that we've got two targets, right? We know that we have. Well, if we go to the NDX, we know we're just above the weekly open on the NDX, so we know that. We also know that we're above the weekly open on the actual NDX. So as far as closing the week good and making a statement, we're there. So now it's just a matter of, we want to project out, what are the two possibilities here? Well, we expect this move here. This is obvious. I mean, this is week one trader support and resistance there. You got a resistance area here. It came up, it reacted. A week one trader could have predicted that. Now, this is where you become kind of a better trader. You know that this is the target. You know that it wants to take out the opening range high. But as far as making a statement for the week, it's not a bad statement. This is where then you want to kind of get into the analyzing just a little bit. Okay, what would be a better statement? A better statement would be a close above the previous week open. That's the better statement. This is just the way I look. I mean, like, each trader needs to figure out how they look at the market. Like, so what I teach is like an agnostic way to look at the market. Like, we don't care if it's long or short. We're just saying, okay, if the market wanted to make a statement, what would it do? Right? I like to look at it sometimes this way. So to me, a strong statement would be a close above here. Close above the previous week open, previous week open. And then it solidifies that it wants to go out and take out the all-time high. Because that's that everybody in the market's wondering, right? Number one, everybody in the market can see this level right here, August 2022. Most market analysis people will say, okay, if it takes that out, then there's a high probability it's going to take out this. I mean, this is a general rule. I'm just going to share a general rule. Whenever you find a range like this, and then you go here to this range, and then look at that perfectly, 50%, perfectly 50%. You should have an idea in your mind, based on your own statistics, what happens when 50% of a range, here's a range, a value range, what happens when it closes above 50% of the range, that range is tested, what is the probability that it's going to take out the high? You should have that philosophy within your system, within the way that you trade. You should have that philosophy. Otherwise, what are you doing? That's a long-term philosophy, but you can go back in historical charts. Sorry. You can go back in historical charts and you can come up with what your philosophy of the market is. So my philosophy of the market, what I teach is that when this value channel is up to here, retest this and retest it and holds it, especially in the momentum environment that it's in, there's a higher probability it's going to take out the all-time high than not. That's one thing that we watch for in our system. So, especially when you go to the 4-day. The 4-day, look at the 4 days looking strong too. So I don't care. You can have all your opinions about how the Fed's destroying the dollar and how, America's going to decline and all this other crap, which I agree with, No, not crap, but I mean, I agree with it. I would agree in principle that the Fed is trying to destroy the dollar, but who cares? Okay, let me say, I care. I do care because I have family and I want a future and I believe in freedom. But at the end of the day, we're traders. We trade the charts. So we don't make an assessment of whether or not if the Fed destroys the dollar that it's not going to go out and take out the all-time high. We just trade what the chart tells us. That's all we care about. We don't care about the macroeconomic aspect of it. We just care what does the chart give us edge, and can we trade that? That's all we care about. So, you can save yourself a lot of time. So Glock, I'll answer your question too. Glock asks, how do you pick which stocks, ETFs, etc. that you invest in? I'll answer that question. But I use the system. That's the first thing. So for instance, for those that, I have 3 or 4 trades that I did just like NVIDIA. So you might be wondering, what do you mean NVIDIA? That's my PnL, sorry. So look at this trade. Like, I'm just going to flex a little bit. Look at the predictive nature of the system. Back here, I was already in this trade, okay? I was in this trade back here, but I said, let me do an idea. TradingView doesn't really like me. There's a few mods on there that always tell me that I break the house rules. Let me do an idea, all right? Let me share my NVIDIA trade. Now, I was in 3 or 4 other like trades, okay? I'm going to advance the chart, okay? This was back in January 23. I'm going to advance the chart. Like, you can't tell me that's not some predictive nature up in there. Look at that. It stopped exactly in my zone, which isn't my zone. It's the system that I trade. Like, I'm not, like, I need to be bowing down to the system, not bowing down to myself. Like, you can't tell me there's not some predictive nature there. Now, you could have said, "Oh, well, that was so easy." Of course, there's a range here, yeah, but there's a little bit more that came into that trade of just, hey, there's a level here and it's going to test that level. I did take some off on this trade, and then I'm trailing the rest of my stops. So how do I make an assessment, or how do I know what to trade? I use the system. I usually start on the 4-day, and then the 4-day tells me whether or not there's a trade. I also use another system called Stock Fetcher. So Stock Fetcher, which is stuff that I'll be getting into. Once again, let me share the philosophy that I have around these parts so that you understand. The trade system that you're learning, if you're a member, master the trade system, okay? And then, like, if you see me doing other things, like speaking about AI or doing options trades or whatever else, you just need to ignore everything I do until you make the trade system your own, okay? So until you master the trade system and it becomes not the Rexdog trade system, but let's say your name is, I don't know, Loop-de-Loo, until it becomes the Loop-de-Loo trade system, you have no other purpose in life as far as trading, all right? If you've joined my membership and you've adopted my system, in your gut, you feel like there's something there, all right? And you're right. So I will affirm that you're right. But here's the thing. Your mission is to not get unfocused at all. Your mission is to take the trade system that I've developed for you, that I consistently refine, and to make it your own and to profit handsomely off of it. You have no other focus in trading. You should there's no other thing you need to focus on. Just that. So don't get shiny object syndrome. Don't worry. If you're a member, anything that I'm developing or anything that's in the process of being developed, you'll have an opportunity to take advantage of when we ghost. So you're not going to be missing out. So don't think that, hey, he's leaving me behind. No, master the system. Am I being clear to everybody? So, Glock, I'll answer your specific question. We'll do like I don't want to miss out on trades, but look, is everybody clear? Everybody that's watching, or look, the trades. I'm in a trade now. I'm only in one lot. I didn't want to add because it's not the good area to add. So, we're waiting for a test above here, above the weekly open on the NQ. We're waiting to get in on the GC trade right at the RDA test, and then I might add to that trade. If we go to the crude oil trade, I was in that trade. I got knocked out. We're looking for this zone down here to buy. Other than that, there's no real trade here that exists that is high probability. The reason why is we're in the middle of a range. There's no edge here. It can go either way right now. So there's no trade on CL. If we look at NatGas, the short exists on NatGas, but I'm already in another trade on NatGas, so I don't want to enter on this chart. So yeah. No, and I have no problem, like I said, I understand people. I'll share a little bit of inside baseball. So I'm really active on Discord, obviously. And people, and I don't get maybe a lot of engagement, but here's what happens, okay? Like I show up every single day, and then eventually you see something that then clicks for you and say, you know what? There is something to this trade system. So for some people that takes a day, some people that takes an hour, for some people that takes 6 months. And then someone sends me a DM and says, hey, I'd like to get started. So, you know, the second that doesn't consistently work out, then I would stop updating. Because I'm the same way. When I join servers, I don't participate. I lurk around quite a while. So I lurk around on most of the servers that I'm on. And then every now and then I might engage. So I'm the same way. So I get it. So just looking at the charts, seeing if there's anything we want to do. I don't think so. For those that are wondering, I do have a actual gold idea. And I'm sorry I didn't do pre-market like I did last week. So last week I did a pre-market on the NQ and I kept it updated. Well, what happened is I woke up this Monday and one of the mods said that I broke one of the house rules. So I was like, mods at TradingView. So I was like, well, screw it then. I just won't go to TradingView anymore. Like, you know, every week one of the mods tells me that I break one of the house rules. And I really try to add value here. I don't even really try. I'm like the amount of stuff that I see on here compared to like what I do, like I'm really like, so I had a pre-market idea ready to go. I'm like, well, screw them. They don't want me around. So, you know, I guess the more I talk about that, the more they're probably going to just, I know there's been people that have been banned from the site. So I did a gold idea, by the way, gold 10-year price targets. So this is my 10-year price target on gold. So it's kind of playing out the way that we think it might possibly. So you'll see here, that's kind of where we're at. I'm expecting it to come back, come up above the 2100, come back. That's going to be your last opportunity, I think, to get really good below 2000 gold price. If that even happens. That might not even happen. Might not even get that opportunity given how the sentiment is on gold right now. So coin is the one that I'm still kind of hesitant on. So this coin trade, I don't know. But you can see it's hit our entry zone multiple times, so we're still in. I think I got picked up the other day. Yeah, I did get picked up in this range somewhere. So coin, we're still looking for this target. So we're still looking for a 200% gain on coin if things work out. So that's a trade that's still active. But obviously, if you're in crypto, then you're double dipping, right? So just think about your capital allocation. What I mean by that is, okay, if you're allocating capital to Bitcoin, it's probably going to move in conjunction with coin. So, you know, just think about your capital allocation when you're doing that. Is the way I would look at it. So we're about to hit the last hour of the market. And it's just slowly. Keep in mind, this is the weekly NQ open. The index, the cash market, has already captured the weekly open, or already solidified the weekly open so far. Now it's trying to solidify the day open. So what you're seeing here, this line here, is the NQ week open. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. We're still waiting for this GC trade to hit. Yeah, so what I do, Glock, just to kind of also go, yo, what's up? Hi. Sorry I didn't say hi to you, Santiago and Naj. Is it Naj? Am I saying your name right, Naj, if you're still on, if you're on YouTube? I just want to make sure I'm saying your name right, Naj. But so what I do, I have a series of things I like to watch. I'm trying to see where my chart is. Here we go. So I have a series of watch lists, right? Equity positions. So here's all my active equity positions right now. These are all my active equity positions. And then I have industries that I watch. And then so what I do is I go through industries, and I kind of start at the 4-day, and I say, okay, what are the interesting, and I use the ETFs for this. And I say, okay, where are the next trades that exist for these industries? And then what I do is I say, okay, I look at these industries, like, so for instance, this is consumer discretionary, right? So consumer discretionary is about to hit the RDA. So this might be an opportunity for a future long on consumer discretionary. So what then I'll do is then I'll go inside consumer discretionary, and then I'll say, okay, what are the opportunities that exist inside consumer discretionary? And before I make all that choice, I will go down this whole list. So it takes me about 15 minutes. Maybe I should record this someday. But I'll go down this whole list, and I'll just kind of get a general feel. What did the market tell me? All the way down. And then I look at the VIX. The last thing I look at is the VIX and the high yield debt combined, because that tells me whether or not there's a risk appetite in the market. But by the time I get down to this, I have a good overview of kind of what the market's doing, what the overall industries and markets are doing. And then I kind of make my assessment of where I should, like, okay, thanks. So then I kind of make an assessment. Okay, where do I want to spend my time, right? So like, out of everything I saw, two of these will really stick out. So like I already shared that the one that stuck out right away. Well, this one sticks out too, technology, but we're already in that. But this, not the financials. Which one stuck out? What were we looking at? Consumer discretionary. So this one kind of, this is showing an early pattern of potential, a changeover. So this would be something that would stick out to me. We can just look at the value range. Is this like, is anybody getting any value out of this, or am I just talking? Like, so I saw this right away. I saw that it's at the 50% mark. I saw that the RDA is right at the 50% mark. So once again, I'd be looking for, if it tags above this, I'd be looking to get into some consumer discretionary, and most likely in the consumer discretionary market, there's probably about I would assume probably 17 to 35% move opportunity. Yeah, so there's 17%. I'm a little off. Sorry, a little off. But then if it overshoots that range, then it's going to go up here. So anywhere from 17 to 30% opportunity in the consumer discretionary aggregate, okay? I know I'm speaking at a high level, aggregate. So now what I do is then I find, okay, do I want to express this trade on this ETF? Meaning, do I just trade the ETF? And the ETF rolls in based on percentage weighting? Or do I think that there's more edge to not do a percentage weighting? Meaning, this ETF is weighted. This fund is weighted. Now, there might be better opportunities in the lower weights, meaning things that are like not in the top 10%, things that are maybe in the 30%. So then you have to see the makeup of this ETF, and then you have to say, okay, and then you just look across the charts. And this takes you 10 minutes. Look, if you're trading my system, looking at these charts, like, what you're looking at right away. Like, I hate to be a broken record on this stuff, but like, seriously, like, we're using the same indicators. We're using the same system. The rules are the same. It doesn't matter. We could pull up Forex. We could pull up my long-term Forex position. So I'm looking at mining too. These are the mining stocks I'm looking at. If you want me to share it, I'll share it. These are the mining stocks I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at these mining stocks. I'll share this in, why I don't do this stuff more often is because I don't want members to get distracted, okay? I hear me, members, if you're on this, okay? Look, master the system first, and then start thinking about advancing and doing other trades and other stuff, okay? Like, do not get the shiny object syndrome. So that's what I'm really at. Like, I want you to hear me, okay? Like, just because I'm doing 6 different things, number one, I'm starting to add all these things now that we've got refinement to the system, okay? Meaning, now that what I've done is I've built clarity into the system, where I'm focused, we're clear every single day, I feel, reinforcing the foundation. I'm not fighting the system. Let's just check our trades where we're at. So we're still up about 1,700 on one lot. I don't have any reason to get into anything else other than it just turned to 2 o'clock. So I'd like to see some volatility that gives us a trade opportunity, but I don't see it yet. So, like, you know, you're not missing out based on what I'm just talking about here, for instance. So while I just shared mining stocks, those are the initial mining stocks I'm looking at. If we go over here, sorry, here's some positions I have too. These are other positions that I have. So, well, these are the basics. So I don't have any positions in this. Anything below here is positions I have. So these are positions that I'm currently in. I have a couple different things that I do for positions. Let's go to the Forex scalps. So this is Forex scalps. I really need to rename this, which is my Forex long term. Same system. You know, US CAD gave an opportunity for a trade on the RDA and the 4-day. Let's see if I can find a trade on Forex that actually I'm executing right now. No. What was the trade I just did the other day? Okay, here's an example. So this is an example. So when this area broke here, I trade Forex with no stop losses. So this trade, I'm long on the British pound US dollar. And here's what here's the trade. I'll just advance the trade. Actually, we'll use replay mode. We'll go back here. So we had our strong level there. And then how I trade Forex is I identify key areas, and then I scale in all the way down. Scale in all the way down. And then I manage the trade accordingly. So I just create a scale in plan. And then obviously it's a quasi martingale, but it's not stupid martingale. Meaning that I'm looking at key reaction zones, and then I'm like, this is not exactly what I do, but basically, well, I'll just share where I would have that's my first entry, right? So let's look at the charts, make sure we're not missing any trades. No, we're not missing any trades. Charts in the same position, so we're not talking. So with Forex, like, I'm just going to approximate what I typically would do. Like, here's a reaction zone. Here's a reaction zone. Sorry. Here's a reaction zone. Here's a reaction zone. Now, if it got down to this low, then I'm obviously really wrong on this trade, because this trade really is a changeover. My expectation was a changeover on this. So, like, for instance, I already took profit on this, is what I'm saying. Because what was the trade? It was a momentum check up to the RDA. So I already took profit on this trade. So, but I'm looking to re-enter this trade now if this level holds up. That's why I wanted to share it. So, like, if you see here, I entered this trade right around down here. I didn't get picked up for any of these positions down here, which kind of made me mad, because I only got picked up for one of my mini positions for just about a 3% move. And I think I'm completely out of this trade now, just because once it lost momentum here, I just said, oh, you know what? It's this next level down here. So right now, though, where it sits, the trade that sits on the table is real simple. Like, what I'll do next week is, depending on where it closes here today, is I'll outline a scale-in strategy down to here, and then have one more scale-in down to here. So I'll outline a scale-in strategy all through this little zone here, all the way down through here, a scale-in strategy, and wait for the reaction and then make the assessment from there. But in reality, where it's at, it shouldn't get much further than the 50% here. Like, if it gets down to that, then I probably need to start managing the trade aggressively and get out, just because the next level that's down here is down here. This is our next 4-day level, which actually is aligning. So probably the best trade that exists for this thing is right around here. That's the best trade that exists for this thing. Just being patient for that level. based on what the rec stock system's telling us. So I might trade down to that level too. It all depends. So that's my Forex trades. I don't know, is anybody getting value out of this? I know I'm just talking. Now to do that in Forex, you have to basically have enough account where you can trade that way. What broker do you use? I use Forex and I use Oaneda. So, is that how you say it? Oanda and Forex.com. No, I don't trade I don't trade that. XAU. I mean, I trade we're trading it anyways, right? Gold. So I know, I guess I don't think I can. Well, no, it is there. Yeah. But isn't it a CFD? And I know I sound awfully stupid, but isn't that I don't trade gold because I trade gold futures. So, isn't this ticker a CFD though? Yeah, it is a CFD. Yeah, so I can't trade CFDs. I'm in the US. I mean, I could, but I'd have to use another entity. But, yeah. So we'll give it a little bit of time to see if there's a move here. I'd say if you want to get aggressive, it's going long. I mean, on the NQ, that's an aggressive move. I mean, why would that be? Well, let's just talk about just number one. We know that the weekly open here is above. It's held in the VWAP. It's recaptured momentum and bias. Now, the downside to that is, okay, you've got to be prepared to scale in all the way down to where my stop is. So if you're going to go long at this point in time, you need to prepare for a fake out or take a profit quick or get out of the trade quick. But you need to be able to be prepared to scale in all the way down to 130. Because the chart's telling you that 130 is that area. That's not a dumb question. There's no dumb questions. Not around here. I trade the GC. So this here is, so in the US or in futures, the gold, the paper gold that you can trade, or you can trade gold futures, it's called GC. And then MGC is the lower, meaning that I always get this, even in my time, this is the micro and then that's the mini, right? Isn't that how it is? Like you would think that, someone of my caliber should know what the hell he's talking about on this stuff. But I get mixed up sometimes between the micro and the mini, how they call it. Because you can trade, well, do I have this up? No. So I'm working on, and I won't show it, but there's something bigger than the NQ. So I'm at that point where I need to start trading something bigger than the NQ. So I'm looking at going through the requirements to trade the bigger NQ. I don't think I'll ever stream that, but Did I answer your question, GC? MGC is the micro. Is it micro or mini? I always, like I said, I should know because I sound like an idiot when I don't. Hey, Nephew Elite, you can talk if you want to talk. If you're on audio. And then there's usually an ETF. So SLV is how I trade silver. ETF. Sorry, ETF. Might just range out here. So we might just have, so if it ranges out here, then I'll get into what I promised, which is the magnet lesson. Which, look, if you can wait for another 15 minutes, I'll share how I believe that. I don't care what trade system you trade or how you trade. I'll share how you should, I believe, look at the market agnostically. Bert, are you still around? You're still around, man. Let's connect this weekend. We need to adjust. I need to figure out like what I need to figure out what challenges you're having. We just need to figure out like how we can like I want to figure out what challenges you're having right now, and let's figure out how we address them and solve them. Yeah. So I just, I see that you're having a little bit of, hopefully you're fine that I'm like publicly, but I know that you're having just a little bit of a minor challenge. So let's focus on that and see how we can get past that. So remember what I said, you need to be able to scale into 130. Now I kind of saw that ahead of time. So now it's just a matter of, okay, here's literally so I'm going to move my stop down, okay? Well, I'm going to attempt to. And then we're going to scale in. So at this point in time, you have a decision. Like chart 4, okay? Chart 4 is telling you that there's a potential bias and momentum check right here. So members, chart 4 of the NQ. So now it's a matter of, you have two ways you can trade this. You enter at the reaction area where my buy limit is. That's the first reaction area. And you manage the trade accordingly with the expectation you're going to scale in a little bit lower to maybe trade yourself out of the trade.
Order filled.
So we got filled for 3. Now your other opportunity or your other trade opportunity is you wait for confirmation that this is a fake break to the downside. So that's your other trade. Is you don't trade now, you be patient, you wait for chart 2 to confirm that it's going to actually move back up. So there's only 2 ways to trade the situation that we're in right now. The aggressive way is the way that you're watching me trade it right now as we sit, which is the system predicted a reaction zone around this area. We are seeing a reaction, but this might be the only reaction we're going to get. So like in that zone. So if you're entering a long position right now, you have no confirmation that trade's going to work out at all. So like you have to be prepared to sit through this volatility like we just saw right there. So we see the volatility. Now you have to be prepared to sit through this volatility and maybe scale in a little bit lower for potentially the move up that might happen. So you also have to be prepared that it might just rip down. But you have no confirmation yet. So I just took a profitable trade and just turned it into an unprofitable trade. I don't know if that's the proper way to term that. But once again, we got to be a little bit patient here. Once again, though, you have no confirmation. You do have a level here as another opportunity for an entry, but you have no confirmation whatsoever yet. You're not guessing. You're trading the system, but you are expecting a reaction, but you don't have confirmation, okay? There's really only two types of trades that you do in the system. There's momentum and fade, yes? But if we break that down even more, there's only two types of trades we do. We do trades before confirmation or trades after confirmation. So am I trading in the right zone, I would ask members. And hopefully you would say, yeah, you're trading in a reaction zone. Okay. But do I have confirmation based on chart 2 that reaction zone is going to actually go long? No, because this is a fade trade at this point in time. Now, it is working out so far. Now, this is where you might want to protect your position a bit, or maybe you have to be a little patient or scale in. But I'm going to protect it just because we're waiting late in the afternoon. It still might rip down, so might as well not go negative, right? So we'll give it an opportunity to rip up. There it is, starting to rip, starting to do some rippage. What's up, buddy? You want to be my pal? No, Rex doesn't want to be my pal. Nephew, he misses nephew elite. Look at that. Not a bad trade there. Got our 4 trailing stops in. We're in 4 lots. We're up about $1,100. Let's see if that trade's gonna give us an opportunity to actually profit better than this.
Stop filled.
Ooh, that hurt our basis too. Look at that. Yep, that was all of our profit.
Order filled.
Got out. Just did not like my entry. My entry's right on the actual momentum and bias. Let's see how much that hurt me. So, I mean, I guess it didn't hurt that bad. I mean, what was my PnL now? PnL now is 17,399. So, I didn't like the way that basis sits. We could always enter on a reaction or on a confirmation. We don't have confirmation yet. So now it's just a matter of being patient and being okay not getting picked up. So I could have stuck with that, but it's at a reaction zone. So for those that are wondering what do I mean by that, well, I'll share this in the general. So that's why I got out. I mean, look, we're at a reaction zone and it was reacting. So what do I want? You know, we have a system that predicts that there's going to be a reaction there. It started reacting and it didn't close above it. So it was a greater risk to kind of stay in that trade. Yeah, Damon, could you share? Was I too harsh on you, man? Like, I just felt like when I was reading it the other night, I felt like I was maybe a little too harsh. I don't know if you're on the stream. So, but I just, was it good feedback? I felt I might have been too harsh. I kind of like how now I'm streaming with, like, I'd ask members, like, since I stream with the 4 chart layout, and you know that I'm streaming with that, is it easier to see my positions with TradingView here? Or do you like the actual Tradeovate look where you can see the PnL and everything else? Like, which one do you prefer? From a member's perspective. Obviously, one of the things that Nephew Elite mentioned, and that I did mention, is that we wanted to do maybe a member stream this weekend, a Q&A webinar type of stream. So we'll be doing that. I think we'll probably do it on the audio channel here. underneath the private audio, or maybe a screen share just on Discord, just to make it simple. But we'll ask what questions. Yeah. No, so I do have indicators on TradingView that are, some of them are free. I would highly suggest anybody that wants to maintain the RDA that you copy that code. It's simple code, but I would suggest that, you don't want to get up one day and then it's not there anymore. So I would highly suggest that if you're a non-member and you want to retain that code, that you copy all the code that's publicly available. Just share it ahead of time. Okay, so we're going to transition over because I don't think we got picked up. Let's see if we can get picked up on this trade here for a potential end-of-day run.
Order filled. Order filled.
Well, not see. I just did market orders. So I didn't have to see if I was going to get picked up. I got picked up. So now we're just going to put in 4 trailing stops, and we'll see if we get picked up on these 2. Otherwise, we'll just let it play out. So we'll see. And then what we'll do is I'll turn off my music so that I can focus on doing the magnets. And then we're going to get real focused here on, and then I'll end the stream and then we'll start. First thing I want to mention, I just released, so we did a session, or we did this week. Was it this week? God, I can't. Yeah, it was this week. So why does it say after action report? After action report. Okay, I need to not do that. There we go. Sorry. I need to update this. Apologize. There we are. We're up about 235. I think there's still opportunity if you want to get into that trade. Don't chase it, but maybe look at the long situation. Maybe you might be able to get a long trade. Oh, your mic's not set up? Well, you're lacking. You're lacking, nephew elite. You're not elite. Your nephew re-elite. I don't know what would be a downgrade from nephew elite? How do I downgrade you from nephew elite? Awesome. Thanks for that's awesome, Damon. Thank you. I like it. I like it a lot. Can't downgrade to elite. All right. Fortunately, I can't use the term, I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. So I'm just your uncle. I don't know what phrase I can come up with. All right, so here, for those, I'll share this after the stream, but you can find this. So we did a Rockwell trading session, and for those that don't know, Rockwell is the dude that, I always feel like somebody's watching me, blah, blah, blah. That song. Just trying to have a little fun with it. Damon was the first one, the first alpha. And then this is my after action report, which is basically in this video, I read the after action report. So if you want to just listen to the audio. Welcome to the after action report, Damon Rockwell Trading Session 1. If you're watching this, so this is just me reading over this page, but this I sent to Damon in advance just so that you had it. And this is just my feedback on, and basically what to do to improve his trading. And then one thing I want to make sure that, and I just was very clear, this is my opinion. This is me sitting back and watching Damon, and I say this in here, and I say this, yourself as a trader. So if anything is contrary to what is within the psychology and who you are, you obviously ignore. You need to have the fortitude to ignore my advice. If you don't think it's right, have the fortitude to ignore. I don't think you should ignore this advice. So you were just 30 days into the system. It was obvious that there was things about the system that you weren't quite trading. All right. So but if it doesn't ring true and it's not going to help you. You know, you need to have the fortitude to actually say, you know what, I hear what he's saying here, but he's wrong. Like, that's not actually what was happening. All right. So just, you know, I know I'm sure you get that, but I'm just, you know, trading is a mind game a lot. So don't let my assessment of the decisions you were making, if they aren't true. Nephew maggot. That's a good one, Nathan. So, you know, Nephew Elite, you've been downgraded to Nephew Maggot. You know, by the way, Nephew Elite and anybody, I can change your nicknames on the server. So if I really wanted to be a douche, I could change it to Nephew Maggot. You can. Oh, that's right. You're admin too. Oh, all right. Never mind, man. We have an official Cold War. So anyways, if you want to see honest feedback, so what's on this page is this is my just reading over the session, all of my feedback for him. And then if you want to watch the actual session, here's the session at the bottom. And I'll share this in Discord. All right, so let's see where we're at in the trade. We are up. Where are we at? Let's see where we're at. I think we're up about $1,000. So we're up about $1,000 on this trade, which is not bad. Not a bad trade. Let's actually move our trailing stops. I think we probably need to just forget about the GC trade for today. And I think we need to just make sure that we're out of everything. Or we probably didn't enter this at enough size. We probably should have been a little bit more aggressive on the size there. But I guess we won't really complain about making an extra $1,000 for the day, will we? I think we should be pretty satisfied about that whole situation. So I'll put my trailing stops a little bit tighter there, and then we'll see if it continues to play out. All right. So now we're going to go into magnets. All right. Now we're going to go to this chart here. This chart here. This chart here. Where's my? There it is. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. Let's go to Bitcoin. So I'll go to my daily, and then we'll go to Bitcoin. All right. Just because we haven't gone to Bitcoin. So we're in Crypto All. Make sure I'm in the right chart so I don't delete it. I'm just going to delete this. All right. So the rest of the stream, we're in a trade. We're long on the NQ. You had plenty of opportunity to maybe add or join the trade with me. Now we're going to go into talking about magnets and why I think that if you think about the market this way, you'll be, you're on the right mindset. So everything on a chart is a magnet, meaning that it's attracting price and it's repelling price at the same time. So you need to get good at, as a trader, if you want to be totally agnostic to the market, meaning that you look at a chart and you just let the chart tell you what is happening, and you don't bring your preconceived notions, and you're just trying to remember what I said in the beginning of the stream, where basically you're a tracker. Okay, you're tracking the market, and the market, the thing that sucks for the market is that it can use subterfuge, but it can't really hide anything it does. Every move it makes is actually there. And so when you choose to use an indicator in your system, when you choose to have like a line on your chart, or when you choose to use support and resistance, what you're really choosing is you're choosing to place a magnet on your chart. So let me be very clear. So we're on the 4-day chart here, which is one of the best time frames you can trade in crypto. If you want to be a master crypto trader, trade the 4-day time frame. Here is a magnet, okay? Standard support and resistance. Let's use the standard support and resistance. Right here, you would say this is standard. Previous support will become resistance. And so this is just using support and resistance any week one trader would learn. Previous support becomes resistance. So we expect that when price gets up there, what is going to happen? It's going to react, meaning it's going to come up here. It might overshoot it, but then it's going to sell off. We would expect at least the first test, we would expect to sell off. So from just a straight up support and resistance aspect, this is a magnet. And this is the next attracting magnet that exists on the 4-day chart using standard support and resistance. This is the next magnet. Right now, because price is below it, the magnet is attracting it. If you look at the downside, from the downside perspective, what's the biggest magnet? Well, you've got a couple magnets here. You've got a magnet right here. That's a magnet. And then you've got a major magnet right here. Okay? So let's ignore this one because we're talking about longer term trades. We want to make 15 to 20% here. We don't want to just be making 5 to 6. You know, I think that's probably going to be what, 15% or so? Let's see what that would be. Yeah, 20%. Not bad. What's this? 30%? Okay. So the market and any indicator you add to the system has to have a magnet ability. Meaning, you don't add an indicator to your system unless the market proves to you that it uses it as a magnet. Otherwise, it's a waste of your time. Because the only way that you're going to make good trades is if you can predict in advance above a 50% prediction rate. You can be lower than that, but above a 50% prediction rate, that price is going to go in one direction. Otherwise, you have a garbage system. If your system doesn't predict at a greater percent of 50% the direction that the market's going to go, or, and let me add the caveat to this, or you're able to think in both directions. So it doesn't matter. I don't care which direction the market goes here. I don't care. I just want to be with wherever the momentum is. But one of these, it's going to hit one of those prices. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It will hit one of these prices. It's guaranteed. Or Bitcoin goes to zero, it's going to hit the bottom one. If Bitcoin takes out the next all-time high or the all-time high, it's going to hit the top one. It's guaranteed. I know you might say, well, yeah, duh. That's so stupid. You just identified a upward range and a downward range. Of course. Okay. All right. I'm going to be making trade decisions, and my trade system tells me which one of these is more likely. And my trade system tells me which one of these magnets is more likely at any given time whenever I pull up a chart. At that given time. And how does it do that? Well, real simple. We drop down to a lower time frame. The 1 hour, for instance. And where's the 1 hour right now? Most of you that are trading with the RDA, you should say it's testing the RDA. Okay. Look at all these reaction zones down here. Now there's a lot of lines on here. Go down to the 4 hour. What does the 4 hour tell us? The 4 hour tells us it's momentum and bias long. So this is real simple. This is how you need to get to binary decisions. We have our two magnets. The market's going to hit one of those magnets. I'm simplifying this, obviously. I'm making this super simple because I want you to get the concept. And this is the thing. A magnet applies to a moving average. A magnet applies to an oscillator. A magnet applies to anything in your trade system. Price is attracted and repelled. And then your trade system needs to tell you how to trade accordingly. I know this is 101 stuff, but I'm just, but here's how you make this decision. Here's how you make this assessment. At this point in time, as long as there's two things here. As long as Bitcoin closes above this right here, 29,420, for all you potheads out there, 420, you're probably already smoking it up. It's Friday afternoon, or maybe you already been doing it all through the day. And then this range here, this value range is a big flag. It's already played out. So now you're just wondering, is there going to be another flag that plays out? But it literally is these two ranges. These two ranges are whether or not, if these two ranges hold up, then there's a higher probability that it's going to take out this level up here. If these two ranges at this point in time, remember, This, like, the chart changes. This is like, you're managing your trades. You're managing your expectations, right? You're doing all that. So at this point in time, our trade system tells us as long as these two areas hold up, the probability is that it's probably going to hit 36,728. We do have a major zone here, and then we have another zone here. So obviously our system's a little bit more advanced. So, like, I'm sure members are saying, no, dude, you're like, you're being a little aggressive. Yeah, you're right. Our system tells us that there's areas there we would be taking profit ahead of time. Plus, we're already in this trade. Like, if you were following me along and you're a member and you were swing trading Bitcoin, you were already in this trade. So, because the signals were there to be in this trade on the swing trade, especially when the RSI fired. When the next RSI fired on the daily, if we go back to the daily, when this RSI fired down here, that might have been another signal for you to enter. But you probably were already buying anyways because we're momentum bias long. Like, there's no other trade on the table. So you're already in this trade, or now you're looking at how do I get into this trade. But that analysis would take 20 to 30 seconds to do that analysis on any chart. So I could go on and on about the concept of magnets, except for that's like, I've not appreciated, I've not appreciated the ability to just keep things really simple and very clear. So like I could, if you want me to show other charts, other tickers, but that's the lesson. I could make it more complex if you want me to. If you want me to make it more complex, I definitely can do it. I have that ability. But let me restate it. Every indicator everything you choose in your system, that you choose to add to your trade system, should operate on the magnet principle. At any given time, it's attracting and repelling price. And then you're looking for clues. What's more likely? Is it more likely that it's attracting it or more likely that it's repelling it? And then all of your indicators should be giving you clear signals. If they're giving you consistent mixed signals, but you're able to predict a move like this, then they're not good indicators. They're garbage. They don't deserve to be in your system. If you can do simple support and resistance analysis and outline the two highest probable areas that the chart's going to go, and I know you're going to say, oh yeah, that's obvious. Okay, fine. If it's so obvious, then why aren't you a successful trader? If it's so obvious, this is the problem that I have with people that are like the know-it-alls. Like, they come in, you're like, oh yeah, I get that. I know that. Look, I try to be very humble, and like, I try to learn even from, like, that's why I was excited about doing the Rockwell trading session, because yeah, Damon's got a lot of experience in the market, but he's really only been trading the system for like 30 days. So not only can I learn something new from him as a trader, but I can see how he's trading the system and improve it, or maybe like find ways to explain it better. But at the end of the day, I'm also benefiting from watching another trader actually trade the market and learning a different perspective and learning his perspective and learning how he looks at it and learning, like, I became better as a trader by that experience. So I appreciate it, Damon. Like, not only hopefully you got something out of it, but I became a better trader from that experience. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I'll pull up the DXDY USDD chart on 4-day. Sure, no problem. So let's just talk about the trade first. So we're up about $1,400. Looks like it's going to take out the weekly open. Not a bad trade. So is that the D? Okay, I'll look at this chart. So Tolston is asking for the 4-day. Let's do analysis on the 4-day on this ticker that he sent over. Is that it? All right, there we go. So, well, there's a challenge on this. The challenge is that there's no RDA. on the 4-day. So there's not at least 200 bars. So we need at least 200 bars for the RDA. So that's one challenge. But momentum-wise, where are we at? We're momentum long. So, this is kind of one of those flyers. Like, I'll just share how to trade this. Like, do you want to hear how to trade this? Like, do you want to really know how to trade this? Like, based on my trading crypto from like 2016, 2017, I can just share exactly how to trade this. So, but, it will be just, there's two ways to trade it. So, I can share that. But let's go to the day. Let's go to the 2-day, see if we get the RDA. We do have the RDA on the 2-day, so there's up to 200 on the RDA. So a 2-day gives us a little bit more different view there. So the RDA, it's above the RDA. So really, at this point in time, I have to kind of look at this here. Like, look at it from this perspective. This is a value channel. How long did it stay in that value channel? So it started here and then it ended right around here. So it was in that value channel for 332 days. So I would ask you, like, from the perspective of a risk perspective, right? So the best way to trade these type of cryptos in this situation is make sure that you're trading complete discretionary capital. Meaning that, like, you're gonna plan to scale in all the way down to here. Just plan to scale in all the way down to $1. Like, this to me is the best way to trade something like this, and where you don't know. You could really manage the trade. What I mean by that is that if you really want to get aggressive managing this trade, since you don't have the RDA on the 2-day, on the 4-day, trade the 2-day. All right, so you trade the 2-day, and then basically you enter your positions. Well, you could enter a position now because you don't want to miss the trade, for instance. But then plan to scale in all the way down to here. Or just plan to scale in all the way down to this level here. Right here. Right around one spot, 874. Just plan to scale in all the way down to here. And then, if you're on a 1 hour time frame and you're planning to scale that in, you're not going to, if you're around to scale in there, and I know there's a lot of lines here, but if you're around, well, you're going to get an opportunity to either get out of that trade. Sorry, it's down here. You're going to get an opportunity to get out of that trade if it even gets there at maybe a small gain or a limited loss. But you're probably going to get at least one opportunity. So manage the trade accordingly if you want to enter that, the less aggressive way. The more aggressive way is, we'll go to the 2-day chart, is basically just plan to hold this thing until it gets to like $16. Like, that's probably, you've got a couple ranges here that it's telling you. $10 is the one, but like, just plan to hold this thing till we see our first major alpha. Our first major alpha was December 2021. That's our first major alpha. So our first major alpha is right here. That's our first major alpha. $13. So that'd be my target. Okay. I'd say, look, the chart is telling me that $13, and if we go to the 4-day, see if that correlates. Perfect. Awesome. It correlates. It's the first major alpha we see that took out this level. Okay. So $13.45. That's my target. Now, I don't know when it's going to hit that. It could take 333 days. So is it worth me allocating, I don't know, let's say $5,000, right? Let's say I want to allocate $5,000 to this. Okay, well, how do I do that? It's real simple. I take from here all the way down to here, and I just scale in, and I just sit on it. And it's either going to go to 0 or it's going to go up to whatever number we said before. 13 spot 45. Like, it doesn't get any like simpler than that. No stop loss, plan to scale in, take whatever capital you want to allocate. The chart's telling you where to scale in. The chart's telling you exactly where to scale in. If you're in my training, and you want me to break this down exactly where to scale in, ask me this weekend and I'll share exactly. So for members, if you want to know how to exactly scale into this based on what the chart tells us, like ask me in the alpha or delta den, and then I'll share exactly where I'd scale in. Like I'm just not going to, I don't just scale in like this. So like if you want to know this, or any ticker really, but that's the way to trade. I know nothing about trading. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm clueless. I have no idea how to trade. Okay. So you should not listen to anything I say about trading because I don't know what I'm talking about. But if I did know what I was talking about, that might be the way I would trade that.
Stop field.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, great. So if you want to know, like, Torsten, if you want me to just share like the exact, maybe I'll do a bark. So I'll do a bark. How about that? Would that be cool? If I do a bark. So for those that don't know what a bark is, well, you should know. A bark is basically, I can't. Well, I'll ask you if I can I announce you to the, can I welcome you to the den? So sometimes when someone joins new, I like to welcome them to the den. Just everybody to say hi. Usually I don't do it publicly. I usually just do it in the den. Just want to make sure it's cool. There we go. It recaptured the weekly open. We did get knocked out of one trade, and we're up about 890 on the last trade, and then the market's going to close here in about 13 minutes. Cash market. So I'll send over also right after stream. All will be sent over. Oh, no problem. No problem. I just like to ask ahead of time before I like say, hey, everybody say hi to the new den member. So the new alpha. There we go. We're messing around with the weekly open. You can see here. I do like this chart here a little bit because you guys can, like, you can actually see my entries. Like you can see where I'm. So a bark, just so everybody, or not everybody, but so maybe people know, a bark is basically there's like, if a member asks a question and I think that there's value for other members, then I just do a quick video. Usually it's anywhere from, well, my videos, sometimes 7 to 20 minutes. And then, so for instance, this video or this scale in, this would be a perfect bark where basically I'll just show on the video and say, hey, someone was in this position. We talked about trading it on the stream. And then it's questions that I think would help the group as a whole. But then someone, instead of just answering it, because also sometimes when I answer questions in Discord, like it easily gets lost. So I'm working on just doing things so that they don't get lost. There. That's all. Yeah, when I say welcome to the den, all I'm saying is, hey, we got a new member. Everybody say hi. That's what I mean. So it's not to put you on blast or anything. It's just, hey, we got someone new. Everybody say hi. And then... All right. So any other questions before we call it a day? Let's look at a PnL. Where are we at PnL wise? We're up
Stop field.
Okay, got stopped out. We're out of the market completely. We're flat. Let's make sure we're flat everywhere. I'll go through my procedure as well. P&L for the day is 18,853. 18,853. We are flat. Bam. I'll just wait for any other questions. His mic isn't set up right now, so otherwise, yeah, his mic isn't up and running. Going forward, we'll be doing kind of shared streams. I guess we'll be probably mixing it up more together, like, just we'll figure out that tech or how we figure that out. So it's just not me. Yeah, I need to focus on. Yeah, I'll share my thoughts on GC before we go. I usually do in everyone. Okay, so we'll look at GC. If you check out Nephew Elite Discord channel on PnL, yep. So let's look at GC. Let's see what damage was done. Let's look at GC. Well, no damage was real done, or not yet, but because, I mean, look, we expect a little bit of profit taking in this range if you look at it that way. And we're looking at the 4-day chart, so let's look at the 4-day chart. So, I mean, there is a potential that we have a level here. So, obviously going into next week, the most important level, the 4-day tells us, is 2000 spot 38 or 2038. Sorry, I said spot. That's the most important level. If we look at the daily, from a daily perspective, I mean, we've got a lot of like reaction zones here. We got a reaction zone right around 1975, 1980. We've got the RDA right around 1940. We've got the weekly right around 1891. And then we've got the weekly RDA with a gap. Everybody was talking about the gap here, and the conversations here when I was there, they're just so focused on gaps. I don't know why they're so focused on gaps. Like, I get it. No, I get it. But I mean, gaps are so, like, if a gap is your main strategy, well, you can trade that, but like trade it a little bit more advanced than just saying, hey, the gap's going to get filled. So there was no real damage done here this week is the way I look at it. If you look at the weekly, look, there's no damage from a long-term perspective. From a long-term macro, look at the, and I understand that there's a lot of lines here, so I apologize, but look at the month. I mean, we've still got half the month to go. So this month could come down and test the month open at 1990 and still end the month really well. So that's the way I look at it on gold. I mean, gold is, at this point in time, I think people are looking at gold as the way they probably should look at it, right? Which is like we're going to, as Doc Brown said, you're going to see some serious shit. So I think we're going to see some serious shit in the markets here. And monthly's holding the RDA. So to me, if you want to know my guiding principle on GC and gold, it's all about the monthly. It's like, as long as the monthly stays the way that we're seeing here and we don't get a close below the RDA on the monthly, then so 1676 is kind of like the line in the sand for gold for me. And then we obviously have this level. So on the monthly. So really, we're talking about a 3 to 10 year move here on gold. So, that's what people are positioning for. That's the way I see it. So, that's my call on gold. All right, so everybody, if you're watching this, you want to follow me on Discord, follow on YouTube, follow on TradingView. If you are ready to get started on the best trade system on the planet, send me a DM, send me an email. You'll go to the website, send an email. Today's PnL was 18,583. Not a bad PnL for just getting off chemo treatment, as well as just kind of staying focused. And if you send a DM, I'll get back to you. I know we got to get one person started here, all ready to go, all the indicators and everything else. Other than that, I look forward to hopefully being able to stream next week. Should be fully recovered, fully mentally there. So we'll just focus on trading the system, trading it well, making the system the star. That's really what it is. It's not me. You know, what is the star of what you're seeing here is the system, the Rex dog trade system, based on my little dog Rex. Like, you know, his inspiration created the system that you have the opportunity to trade before you. So I look forward to seeing. Thanks everybody that showed up, that participated. I appreciate it. Everybody that shows up every single day in our groups and everything else. It means a ton. It makes trading that much more of a community. You know, it's not as lonely, obviously, when you got other people that are on the same mission, focused on the same thing, which is what are we focused on here? Now on with this. We're focused on consistently and reliably pulling capital from the market. It's not to get up every day and have a challenge. Our goal is to, every single day, we get up and we consistently and reliably pull capital from the market. So thanks to everybody for being here. Yeah, you're right. We're all trading brothers, you know, although it really isn't. There's no friends in trading. It's everybody against the market, right? But at least as a group, we can kind of be in the same path. So thanks everybody. I look forward. And then we'll be doing a couple things this weekend. So if you're not, and what I'll do, even though we're doing member things this weekend, if you're in Discord, I'll still be sharing elements of the things we'll be talking about. So just, if you're just following along and you just want to pick up knowledge from here and there from what we share, Discord, I don't exclude people that are just not in the system. I still share the things that we're talking about, the things that we're going over. So, you know, if you want kind of some of that knowledge as well, just, you know, join Discord, pay attention. Usually I share in general. And if you have questions, look, I show up every single day. So like you really have no excuse if you have questions, to ask me questions, because I'm there every single day. So look forward to seeing everybody. Everybody have an awesome weekend. At least where I'm at, it looked like it's starting to be spring, so it's even more awesome. So peace. We out.